The UBC TV Small Business Network and Business Services are dedicated to helping you elevate your business and achieve sustainable growth. We offer comprehensive support, starting with expert assistance in business planning, ensuring you have a solid foundation for success. We can also help you explore funding options, navigate credit solutions, and access a wide range of resources tailored to your specific needs. Furthermore, we provide unique opportunities to showcase your business and share your story on our dedicated business TV show and on UBC TV. UBC TV boasts a substantial viewership, reaching over 23 million engaged viewers, providing unparalleled exposure for your brand. Don't hesitate to contact us today and discover how we can help your business reach its full potential and achieve lasting success.
Okay, everyone, this is Peggy Dodson with UBC TV, UBC Small Business TV. How you doing today? So this show is all about business. It's all about everything, every angle, funding, credit, financial literacy, all of that, and just showcasing some of the smartest people that I know, in this business. So I'm here with Cynthia Hurley. How you doing?
I'm doing great. And yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm doing
Yes.
great.
Good.
So Cynthia, you are the credit expert. So I want to just open up about credit. I mean, there's so much going on with credit today, with all the changes. I mean, it's like all of a sudden this new administration came in and just like has turned everything upside down, which some of it I think could benefit us. I'm hearing. But the rest is that we just have to be ready for what's happening. And so where would you like to start? You want to it's so much. Credit is a big thing. We can do several episodes, which in fact you are going to be on UBC TV as a regular TV show. So everyone, she will be on the network. So you'll be able to tune into her on video on demand. And when we launch our 24-hour station in September, the end of September, going to October, you'll be able to see Cynthia. I'm going to put her on daily because we need daily information about credit, because I think that's the real basis for everything moving forward. So introduce yourself to the audience, and we can go from there.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Cynthia Hurley, and I am the CEO of Make Sense With Your Money. I have been in the financial services field for about 25 years now, helping people get their credit in order and get their finances in order. And I always like to start off, Peggy, by letting people know that how I got started in the business is I was a victim of identity theft.
Oh,
okay. I was looking for somebody to fix my credit must have been about 27 years ago. And, at the time I wanted to, buy a car. And somebody introduced me to this guy, and this guy said he was going to help me. Bottom line is I gave him $2,000 and I never saw the guy again. And that ignited fuel in me to go into that, the financial services industry. And in going in the financial services industry, I find that there are a lot of people like me, and also that were like me, and also that are not so savvy about finances,
Right.
So, I love what I do. And we, specialize in the credit repair, fixing your credit, getting your financial house in order, life insurance, teaching youth, and all of that kind of stuff. So, I love what I do, and I'm excited that I get a chance to, share it here with your audience today.
Wow, that's really awesome. So the best teachers are really the people who have been through it themselves. That's what you're saying.
Oh, absolutely. Because I feel that how can you talk from a place that you've never been in?
True.
I've also been teaching on bankruptcy as well. Sometimes, one of the mistakes that I made starting early in business was that I used all of my personal credit to fund my business, which is a no-no.
Right.
and
I'm guilty of that. I've learned that as well. I've learned that as well.
and
But that's what they tell us.
Exactly.
But
That's what
that's
they
not
tell.
what the other that's not what real business people do. I mean, they tell us one thing and they do another.
Right. But the thing is now, people like you and I have to, educate the masses to let them know that's not how you do it. You
Right.
know, and I know that, you're able to help people with the business funding and stuff like that, but people need to know because, some 3 or 4 years in, people are maxing out their personal credit
Mm-hmm.
like I did. And as a result, I
Yep.
had to file bankruptcy some 20 years ago, So, but it was a learning experience for me.
Correct.
Now I know better. When you know better, you do better.
Correct.
You know?
Correct. Correct. Well, you know what? Let's dispel this myth about bankruptcy
Oh, we need to
because
dispel it. We need to
we
dispel it.
need to really dispel that because people
I'm ready.
feel, oh, I can't tell for bankruptcy, it's going to be bad and stuff. I know some people who have filed for bankruptcy and they are doing so much better right now. And we really have fallen for the okey doke. And, you
Falling for.
know, yeah, I know very wealthy people. I mean,
Absolutely.
who
How
have
do you
filed for
think they
bankruptcy.
respond?
Exactly, exactly. And I think we have to know the playbook. We don't know the playbook, and we have to know the playbook. So let's dispel bankruptcy
Okay.
before we go on.
Okay, so I'm glad that you brought that up because I want to just name a few people who have filed. Let's start with Abraham Lincoln. Let's go all the way back there. Okay.
Wow, really?
Abraham Lincoln filed bankruptcy. Okay, let's start right there. So
Wow.
now we have we know Trump filed bankruptcy, Mike
Right.
Tyson filed bankruptcy, Tony Braxton filed bankruptcy, 50 Cent filed bankruptcy, Apple filed bankruptcy, Ford Motors filed bankruptcy, and look at all of these people now.
Wait. Let people hear that Apple filed
Apple
bankruptcy
filed
again.
for
Apple
bankruptcy.
was the
Apple
biggest
filed for
company in the
bankruptcy.
world.
So,
Wow.
this is why I'm so passionate about it because we need to be educated on the system. See, people
Correct.
don't know the system, but people know how to use the system. And when you know how to use the system, then you're able to navigate better. If I had not filed bankruptcy with my $100,000 worth of business debt on my personal credit, okay, I would not be where I'm at now because I was so burdened with that debt. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? It was all business debt, but it was on my personal credit report. Thank God for bankruptcy because when I filed, I felt like I felt like the world was lifted. And what I've learned too is that bankruptcy gives you a fresh restart. People think that, well, when I filed bankruptcy, I can't buy a house. Well, you can buy a house after 2 years. You can immediately start to rebound and repair your credit the day that debt is discharged on that bankruptcy. That's number one. And then here's another thing I want to say is that when creditors know that you have no debt at all, guess what? They come knocking at the door, pay because they want to build another relationship with you. They want to
Mm-hmm.
build another relationship. So, I find out that now with, you know, they have like these user-friendly, the creditors are now have these user-friendly cards that they have set up now that you can begin to rebuild your credit right after bankruptcy. And even if you're in the
Wow.
chapter 13, because that's you still chapter 13 is like a 3 to 5 year payment plan, you can still begin to rebuild your bankruptcy. So we cannot listen to the people or listen to the hype or listen to the what is that thing they say? Don't listen to the I forgot there's a name that they call them, but you can't listen to people. You got to get the facts. Okay.
Right. We have to do research.
We have to do research. You can
Mhm.
immediately begin to rebuild your credit after bankruptcy. And guess what? Sometimes you can even get the bankruptcy removed. That's a whole nother show, Peggy. We'll talk.
Wow. I heard that. I heard
Yes.
that. I
Because
heard
my
that as
bankruptcy
well.
is no longer on my credit report. Well, it was long,
Ooh.
but I got my bankruptcy off my credit report. I think it
Uh-huh.
was like maybe 2 years in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, there's ways that we can strategize and navigate. We just have to know who to talk to.
That's true. That is
Got to know who
very
to go
true.
to.
Exactly, because we've been going to the wrong people.
And we got
We've
all
been,
these overnight sensations. Social media is good, but sometimes you get people that get on there and they're not giving people the wrong information. So you mixing truth with error. And when you do that, it clashes. It clashes.
yeah, yeah. That's the one thing about social media. People think that they're overnight sensations and that people are experts. Everyone's not an expert.
They're not
A lot of them are just scam artists. They
It's scam.
just want to get money, and they don't want to help you. And I know a lot of people that are probably listening to us have been a victim of that. I mean, I've had people help me, but not really help me. I had to pay for this and pay for that. And I've learned how to do more research myself. But,
Yeah.
it comes a time when you need people like yourself to really help you to really get things off of your credit and to get yourself straight. Because if you're in your 40s or your 50, you have to really get things going now. You can't just wait until you're 60, 70. That you can't wait there. You have to do this now. And now that where we're saying that you can do bankruptcies, which will probably you can start recuperating within 2 years.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
that's I
Oh, this
mean,
is done. Might as well just do it and get it over with.
girl, please, we're gonna have to have a talk after this. I'm telling you, because
Listen,
the way
because it's the way out. I'm telling you, we just need.
yeah.
You know what else I found out? How about this one? For why bankruptcy is biblical. Where you think they got the laws from? They got it from the Bible. Deuteronomy 15:1 tells us that
Wow.
a creditor, you're supposed to forgive the creditor. The creditor is supposed to forgive those who borrow from every 7 years. So we
Wow, that's in the Bible.
in the Bible. We're missing it. We're
We're
missing
mi-
it.
we're misinterpreting it, that's for sure.
Yes.
It's going over our heads. Somehow we need to go back and look at
Yes.
things, and
Yes.
that applies to today. There's a lot of things. I mean, speaking about Bible, there's some things that I've learned that do apply today that Jesus was
Mm-hmm.
talking about, and
Mm-hmm.
it's so interesting. It's so very interesting, the correlation with that and
Oh,
money.
yes. Money.
Mm-hmm.
Money answers all things. Hello.
Mm-hmm. It is a tool. It is a tool. I think
Ooh.
when people begin to disassociate it emotionally and look at it as a building block, that's when I feel things, can help people, because a lot of the society, we have focused on the romancing of money, the romancing of this, being rich, being a big superstar, having all this money, when they don't know behind the scenes, a lot of these superstars are broke.
Hey,
They have three baby mama, daddy, this,
yes, that's
that
right.
going on.
That's right.
And but we're seeing what the media wants us to see, which is, oh no, they just working to do all this stuff is fun. But it's really, we really have to get down to brass tacks, and that's what I want this show to be about, and working with you. You're everyone, Cynthia and I will be working together, and
Yes.
you've got to come, see us. We're going to be doing some live workshops and things like that. But but bankruptcy is one thing, but Cynthia, let's talk about the landscape of credit today. Give us an overview of what's happening, how to transition to where it is now.
Well, it's so interesting. There is so many dynamics of credit now.
Mm,
And I do want to say that, credit is necessary. It's necessary. You know,
mm-hmm.
even if you have money, it's necessary
Right.
because people believe that, you know, just because you have money, you don't need credit. Well, other people they use their credit and save their money. So we got to
Correct.
stop doing that. So that's why I tell people credit is necessary. And credit has changed so much because in today's time, everything they want to see what your credit look like before they give you anything. When
Yes.
have you ever heard that driving correlates with your credit? Why you need to see my credit report? Because I want to get some insurance. Hello. Okay. I think that's, we already know that we need it for an apartment. I understand that. But now for employment, Peggy,
Yeah, I know.
you can't even get a job because they're looking at your credit report. They're tying
Mm-hmm.
it to, your credibility. Who is this person? If this person can pay their bills on time, that tells me something about their character and their integrity. So it's
Correct.
to so many different things, and I will say that in terms of making it a little bit easier to help people build, now I see that lenders are making it, when I say they have AI-based programs now where your credit stance or your credit posture, your credit scores is not necessary um, it's not necessary that you have to have it in order to get approved. They have these AI cards that can help you get approved to start you to build your credit if you don't even have any. They also have where, before when you pay your cell phone bill, your utility bill, they have something called Experian Boost. So now they're trying to help you to build your credit, because the thing that I find that is most interested, and that's because of lack of information, people really don't know, is that most people focus on building. I mean, they focus on removing all of the negative, and then they wait to build. But no, while you're in the negative stance, you can start building right where you are. There are
wait, say that again, because that's important. That's
okay.
important.
People, they have negative credit and they try to fix everything before they begin to build. But you need to build right in the position that you're in. I don't care if you got a 300 credit score, start building. And there are ways that you can do that. You just got to have the right information, the right cards. You got to know who to apply for, because you can build. And that way, by the time you do get the negative off, you ain't got to wait to rebuild. You can already start from where you are.
Wow. Wow. See, that's a lot of information that people really didn't know as well. And you know what? I'm a seasoned business person, and I just really started finding that out recently as well. That you can, because now, I mean, I'm working on my credit score, but they're offering me cards. I said, "What, they offering me a card on my credit score?" It's like this. They said, "Well, you can get this card and you can get that card," and that is to help build credit. That is to help build credit, because so many people today in the United States now are living off their credit because of they're living off their credit cards. They're not making the money that I have a friend, she's not making the money that she used to make, but she has the credit, and she uses the money that she has to pay her monthly, credit cards. But then they give her more credit. That's the trap. That's the trap.
Yeah, that's the trap.
They give you more credit.
It's a strategy as well. But see, that's only for people who are disciplined to know how to use that strategy.
Right.
Because you can go straight into a spiral, downwards.
True. The downward spiral. Oh, goody, they gave me $10,000 more credit. Let me go and go to the Bahamas. Yeah, how are you going to pay for that next month? So we have to restrain and utilize and know how to utilize that. And that's where you come in. You come into doing that. You come into doing it. Yeah. So there are credit cards that can help you build while you are building.
Oh, absolutely. And then, some people, I run into this a lot where people say, well, no, Cynthia, I don't want to use that card because that card is like 25% interest rate. Well, somebody is willing to take a chance on you. It ain't like you're going to be married to them forever. This is a temporary relationship, because you need some type of foundation to show other creditors what your credit behavior patterns are, so that all of the Discovers, American Express, the Macy's now want to see that you have been revived, or, you've been delivered, okay, from your bad payment behavior. And they willing to take a chance on you, but you got to start somewhere.
True.
You got to start somewhere.
True.
When I was rebounding from bankruptcy, I had to start off, I call them what I like to call them is subprime cards.
Yeah.
Because they have a high interest rate. But remember, here's another thing too that I want to mention, is that interest rate don't apply to you if you don't carry a balance.
Wow. Okay.
It only applies if you carry balance. So if they give me a $300 card, if my bad credit is bad, and they offer me a $300 limit on one of them cards, like Ignigo, I think one of them called Indigo. As long as I use that card and pay it off by the end of the month, that 30%, whatever interest rate, 25%, it don't apply to me, because there's nothing to revolve it on.
That's right. That is right. That is so true.
Well, that negative interest rate don't really have to apply to you if you pay them balances off, So, and there's a way to, strategically do this credit thing, but I believe that we just need the right information. Like I said, got truth, and then you got error, and it's being mixed together, and it's just like it's a clash, But I think this is the time more than ever that people need to focus on their credit, because it is needed and it is necessary. This is the time we need to be holding on to our money, not spending.
It's true. It's true.
The other people when I'm saying other people, they know how to use their credit and save their money. And what they do is what your friend do. They use their credit, but they pay it off at the end of the month because they have to do so, But that's what I know. I know a couple of, millionaire people that's that's the strategy that they use,
And my friend's credit is going up. It's going. She says my credit rating is going up. I want like an 850 by the time because she wants to buy a house, so she's
Okay.
working on that.
Okay.
But her income is not huge, but she manages the card she has,
That's what it
and
is.
and they keep giving you more. But she knows how to manage. She doesn't go crazy with, oh, they're giving me all this line of credit. She's not crazy with it. She's just saying, okay, if I need a little over here for something, I'll pay it, and then But I think that's a mental mentality that we have to change. You think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You talking about in terms of what? If you have the credit available, you mean use it? What you mean? That's what you're talking
Well,
about?
I mean being able to say that I just got $10,000 more dollars in
Oh,
credit on this card, but I'm not going to use it. That seems to me that takes some kind of conscious management on a lot of our parts because we
oh,
just go off and just spend things.
oh, absolutely. It takes somebody who is you really have to be disciplined. You have to
Hmm.
have disciplined behavior because, for instance, you look on social media, and when I see other people who may be in the same line of work and they think it's all about the credit score, well, it's a yes and a no, because guess
Hmm.
what? You have some credit scores that are just shallow. They ain't got no foundation. You can have a 700 credit score and only have one Capital One card for $200 to $300 limit. Ain't
Wow.
Linda gonna give you no credit.
That's true.
They ain't gonna give you no.
That's
But that's what's called a shallow. It's like it's not solid. There's no foundation. It can fall apart in one day. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be mindful of of what credit is made of. And yes, the mindset that just because the credit is available, that don't mean we have to max it out. I
that's true.
think that comes with um it comes with let me see, it comes with discipline. I want to say that, but it also shows maturity.
Hmm.
Maturity. You have to have a great relationship with money in order to be for them to dangle that credit in front of you and you don't use it.
Right.
You have to be comfortable enough to say, you know what, I have what I have. I have what I need, and I don't need to maximize anything to feel like it makes me feel more than who I am. No, because it's all about your relationship
Hmm.
with money and with your credit.
Yeah, I feel that's the issue with people who have money that regularly they're wealthy. They have a better relationship because they have money managers. They understand money, and people who don't have money, and there's not a great relationship with that, and it's like we hoard. We just for instance, in some of the communities, the inner city communities, there are great people that know how to work money, but most of us go out and if we win something or win money, we go out and get a Mercedes. We roll it off. Do you know when you roll that car off the showroom, it depreciates.
Yep.
And if you get a loan for that, that loan is not going to change. You still have to pay that, but that car depreciates. And I think that we have to make better choices. And like you
Mm,
said, and our relationship with money has to be better and credit has to be better,
it has to
in
be.
order to do that. Yeah, yeah.
You know what? You know what? I think we get assets and liabilities mixed up.
There you go.
That's what it is, because what people consider assets is not always an asset. It's
That's
not always an asset.
true.
And we take our money and we put it into liabilities. It's not nothing that is going to, some of us, we need to invest our money in things that is going to appreciate. That means grow in value. You understand? Not all of
That's
these other things that don't. Why? I was it's interesting. I was interviewing somebody one and he said this to me, and I never forgot it. I wish I could take credit for this one, but he said, you know what, Cynthia? He said, he was the president of a mortgage bank. He said, where our down payments are. People who got the down payments, we as a people have the money for the down payment, but it's in our closets, in the shoes, the pocketbooks, the clothes. You're giving kids these 3,000 parties, birthday parties, and they can't even say die yet. I mean, come on. It is the choices that we make. It's the choices that we make. And I'm tired of people saying that we ain't got no money. That is a lie. Black people got money. I'm sorry.
We have a $4.7 trillion yearly buying power. Everyone, listen to this. We are the 8th largest economy in the world. So
we got the money.
Yeah, it's
just, we just misappropriate it.
Yeah, you know what you just said too? We invest in liabilities. Oh my God. I love that. That is so, I mean, we did a t-shirt. What you just said was so real. You know, we put our money into liabilities.
That's right.
Instead of things that appreciate.
Instead of things that appreciate. That's right. And it's
That
true. You in the field just like me. That's true. We see these people, we invest, and it's so sad. That's why I'm glad that me and you're going to be working together, because we are going to educate the masses. And there's going to be some change. I believe that people, they just, if they know better, they do better. You know, I'm glad that I was able to learn at a young age. You know, when I say, I mean, I still wasn't young. I wasn't young, but, you know, I got it. It was, you know, even though I still, you know, had to file bankruptcy, but it's okay, because now I got to know that bankruptcy ain't so bad.
Exactly.
Bankruptcy is a blessing if you know how to use it. It's a blessing because it wipes everything out and makes you start right over.
Well, once again, I have to go back to what, and we can talk culturally, you know, here, because this show for me is about helping, you know, people of color. We're going to help everyone because everyone needs help today. But, you know, we really need the help. And I remember, you know, bankruptcy was just a horrible thing. It was so bad. And we were told it was like a sin. And here we are, all these rich people going to file bankruptcy. I said, what? Oh, what? They got credit. What's wrong with that? Nothing happened to them. I mean, they get more credit than they had before. And here we are, burdened with credit for 30 years, still trying to pay the interest. The interest, not even the principal. And trying to be like, holy did well, I just want, you know, and not being conscious of how the game is really played. And that's what we really need to learn, is how this money and debt game is really played, like the 1%. And that's now, information is now available to us. Before it wasn't.
Yes. And that's why I really want to get people to know that, because people are carrying debt that they don't have no business carrying. You know, there are so many of these companies and individuals that file, and they file more than once. Every time they get into a situation, they file because that's what it's there for. It's there to be used. Nobody uses it. Not us anyway. We think, oh, no, I can't do it because that's a curse to the family. Who told you that? That's from the Bible.
I want to know that too. How did that circulate?
But it's a lie.
It's a lie.
Tell these people, let's tell our people that so they can stop the nonsense. Get rid of that debt so you can go ahead and flourish.
Yeah, and live your life. And invest in real estate and do all the things that we should be doing. And that's what's holding us back economically, because we should be investing in real estate. We should be investing in all these other things. And we're just trying to pay every month, try to pay the debt down and not living our lives the way we want it to be. And I'm very passionate about getting this information out, Cynthia. You are so brilliant. And your approach is like, I love it.
Thank you.
I love it because it's so real, you know? And that's what we need to hear. You know, I don't want to, I don't want to hear Fox News is fine. Fox Business News they do what they do because they're talking to the major corporations and people like that. What I want to do and us to do is to talk to everyday people. Everyday people, and to empower them.
Yes, they need to hear, and they need to see people like you and I. Yes, this is possible. Yes, you know, we all been through some stuff, and you know, but even though you go through things, you can still rebound. You know, there are ways that you can accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish, but you just got to get the right information. You know, all information is not created equal. I always like to say
that's true.
It's not. You know, because some people there is, well, I'll give you, for example, since we're on the subject of bankruptcy, it's like, oh no, you should not file bankruptcy. Your life will be ruined forever. Your credit will never be able to rebound. You can't never buy no house. That is not true.
I know, that's what I heard. No, that is true. That's the lie they put out in our community.
They don't want us to be free.
No, they don't.
We've been through enough slavery, and a lot of us are still mentally slaved.
We are, most of us are mental.
Cycles.
Yeah, we're mental slavery right now. We have to break out of it. We have to break out of it.
For us.
This is the most opportune time in our lifetime right now. And some of us really need to wake up and stop complaining. And I'm going to, for me, Cynthia, one of the things I do is I talk very blatantly and point it, and that's why people like about me or they don't like. But we really have to stop blaming everyone else about what's happened to us or what has not happened and get up, because our ancestors never had the opportunity to complain.
Right. You are so right. That's hitting it on the head. That's an excuse. And a lot of us, that's what we do. We do the blame game. And this is why I can't do this. And this is why I can't do that. No, you can do all things. Hello. Exactly. All things through Christ. You can do it. So stop the nonsense. You just have to be willing and able to listen. You got to listen and then apply, and that's what me and you want to get together to do, is to listen so they can help people so they can listen and then apply what they have learned. You understand? We can show people how to go from a credit zero to a credit superhero. That's what's going to be.
See, you've said all these things that we need to put t-shirts on.
It's already patented. That's you and I. It's on your
from a credit zero to a superhero. I love that. I love it. Cynthia, you are so brilliant. You are so brilliant. There's so many things about credit. I wanted to ask you though, how are you feeling about the credit, the company that monitors credit, the CB, whatever. What is the name of that company?
The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
Yeah. Oh, is that a good thing? Okay.
Oh, absolutely. So the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau was put in place, we know, by Congress in order to monitor collection agencies, banks, and credit card companies, because they like to take advantage of us.
Oh, they do.
If you're not in finance, then you're not going to know what some of these language and terms and different things that they do. That's just like, I'm going to take my car to a mechanic. If I don't know anything about that line of work, he can just take advantage of me. Correct. So what the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau does is it protects us in our rights and what they can and cannot do. So I'll give you, for instance, I'm always working on people's credit. I even go to court for people, help people get out of, stop paying debts that they shouldn't be paying and stuff like that, fighting with the debt collectors. So that's the number one reason why I think that the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is so key. So let's just say that you have some collection agencies that, they know that they should not be trying to collect this debt from you, okay? Because the statute of limitation has expired. But what they will do is they will try to force you to pay the debt. Well, I just get a letter, write it, and send it to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau saying, this law, that law, why they can't do this and why they can't do that. And the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, it gets their lawyers to contact these collection agencies, and guess what? They close out the debt. I've even had them, and so that means that the person don't owe the debt no more because they're doing illegal practices, these collection agencies. I've even worked with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to go after the credit bureaus.
Really?
Yeah, because they do illegal practices too. They we gotta listen.
I know Credit Karma just got lit up for something.
Listen to me. They have to be governed. And that's why I'm praying Trump. Okay, listen, Trump, listen. You got to stay in your lane now. You got to leave the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau because I've won so many cases on account of them, but their help and their assistance. So when I go after somebody, whether I go after a collection agency or a credit bureau or a credit card company, I use the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or either I use the state attorney general, I use the Better Business Bureau, I use everybody.
Okay.
But that Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is key because it acts like a lawyer for you. It's your voice. when you don't understand what a collection agency may be doing or a credit card company may be doing. They may be, let me give you a quick example. I had a client who, this is another problem that people do. She had a credit card and she had like 5 years. It was like a $2,000 limit. So she really didn't use the card, but that card gave her over 700 credit score, because it was the only card she had. She paid it on time all the time, but then she paid it off and she never used the card again. So she decides she didn't use the card. The company though, it was a yearly fee. They have these yearly fees that they charge, right? They had charged this yearly fee. She didn't know it, but because she didn't pay the yearly fee, they marked her 30 days late on not paying the balance. I think the balance was like $99. She thought she had a zero balance. So I think it was Open Sky, whatever one of them, I don't know if it was Capital, one of them cards. But anyway, they closed the account because she never paid this yearly fee, which was $99.
What?
And it knocked her score down like 150 points because they closed the account, number one. So they took away the length of her history, and it also and they marked it 30 days late. That's a double whammy on a FICO score. Well, she didn't know what was wrong. So we called to find out that it was, the reason why they closed it is because it was because of that late fee, and that she never paid it because she didn't know she had it. Well, in comes the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. What you did was wrong. You got to reverse that 30-day late. That's number one. Number two is that if you did not contact this client, this woman, and let her know that you charged her a yearly fee, okay, you had to send her some type of notice. How you just gonna close the account? How you gonna mark her 30 days late when you see that account was zero balance all these years, and you just gonna up and charge her a yearly fee? No, that's wrong. So the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is a voice for us.
Okay.
Just gotta, yeah, they fight for you. They fight.
Wow. Because I know that the banks and stuff are in with these the credit reporting agencies. They're like left hand, right hand.
That's right. And another thing too, I want people to realize is that, sometimes we fall into situations because, as they say, life be lifing is what I hear. Life be lifing. People have.
There's another one. Okay, then you got 3, Cynthia.
Life be lifing. So I've been in a situation like that as well before I got in business, or in the early days of trying to start my business, struggling and everything, where you have accounts and your check is bouncing and all of that kind of stuff. And they put you in this check systems. But check systems, you can get out of that. It's just like a credit bureau. You can get out of that and get those, what do you call it? Late fees and overdrafts out of it, so that you can get a perfect credit score with the banks, So they, the credit bureau, Check Systems Credit Bureau, okay, which is a credit bureau, they are in cahoots with the credit bureaus because they both are credit bureaus. You understand? Yeah. So we just have to know these things so that, look, we can make better sense with our money.
Wow. Yeah. So what would you tell people that are looking to move forward with getting business credit, who has actually started with personal credit, messed up, and now they have a business and they want to transition? How, what advice do you have for people?
Well, first of all, I would say start with your personal. Start with your personal, and I'm gonna say this because sometimes
cleaning it up. Is that what you mean?
Cleaning it up. You got to get it to a point where it look some type of presentable, okay, score-wise. Because when you are, now you can get business credit, vendor credit, but I'm talking about business credit cards. When you are first beginning to start out, they're gonna look at your personal credit, okay, because they want to maybe use you as a personal guarantor. So you want to start there. I always say, do an audit of your personal credit report, see what it is that you have to do to get them scores up, so that then you can start applying for the business credit. Because the business credit, what I love about it is the fact that so if I get a credit card with Capital One, they may start me off with 1,000. business credit start me off for 10,000. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So they like triple the amount,
Mhm.
when they see that your portfolio, I like to call it the credit portfolio. When your
Mhm.
credit portfolio looks good, they'll start you off like that. So the advice that I like to give is start with your personal credit. And once you start with that, you won't have to always depend on it. But in the beginning, in order for them to take a chance on you, they may look at your personal credit to say, well, we may have to use you for a personal guarantor just for this one card. And then going forward, you won't need your personal credit ever again.
Mhm. Okay. And what about guarantors or co-signers? Is that a good thing to use at some point or not?
Well, yes. Okay. So that's all right. So personal guarantors. You have to, if I decide to do that for somebody, or if you decide to do that for somebody, you have to really know that you can trust this person.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And yes, you can do it. Thank God that, and I'm gonna say we need personal guarantors and we need co-signers. You
Yeah, we
understand?
do.
Because let me tell you something. In my early days when I was struggling and I had that whole business, I had a whole building, and I'm telling you, I had this $35,000 phone system. After I had filed bankruptcy afterwards, but I didn't know at the time. So they came in and sold me this system. It was just too much. But thank God for my aunt,
Wow.
because she always had a perfect credit score. I'm talking about
Mhm.
800, always.
Wow.
Always in the 800s. Okay, that should tell you. But she, oh my God, I get emotional when I talk about it. If it not had been for her, she was always my guarantor.
Wow. That's
When
awesome.
I needed credit, when I needed for her to co-sign, get me this loan, or I need you to do this so I can get this and get that. And she was always there for me. So I'm going to say that we need people like her, because somebody is good when somebody can take a chance on you, especially when you're
Exactly.
doing the right thing. You understand? Um,
Hmm.
and because of her, I was able to accomplish some of the things that I would not have been able to accomplish because my credit wasn't great at the time.
Wow. That's
So
awesome.
it's good when you know that you can trust the person.
Yeah.
But
Well,
if you
that's
can't trust them, then that's a whole nother story.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's where the family and community comes in, and where
Mhm.
we, as a Black community, need to do that more. I know the Latin community does it. I mean, they
Really?
help build this up. They help build each other up and all that kind of stuff. We really need to get uh,
Yes.
more trusting of each other
Yes.
and all of that. I think because that's going to be. I mean, it's the village. It's the village.
The
It's the
village.
village. We our village has
Mhm.
been decimated, and we have to come back
Yes.
with the village again in order
Yes.
to rebuild ourselves back up. You know.
It comes to, well, the family component has been like destroyed. Well,
Yes.
broken down, and that has a lot to do with it. But I tell you though, with this education that me and you're going to be doing, we can give people hope again. That's
Yes.
what's his name used to say, keep hope alive. Well, we're gonna give people hope, because there is a way. Yeah, we all struggle, and I'm glad that I'm talking from a place of experience. You're talking from a place from experience. That's the
Mhm.
only way you can do this thing, because then you don't even be able to feel it. I understand how. A matter of fact, I always like to say, I overstand.
I overstand too. I
I always,
overstand, understand
because the
everything,
struggle is
Stan.
real. Look,
Oh my gosh, being an entrepreneur. I mean, people have no idea. Oh, Peggy doesn't this. They have. Oh God, okay. Am I going?
they
What am I going
don't
to do
know.
today? Oh, they have no idea. Okay, I've got
The
this production,
struggle
that one,
is
this one
real.
coming in. It's like
Oh, I
it.
know. Oh my
It's
God.
it is. And being having more information and knowledge about money and credit is very important. I think that I wanted to start this series off with credit, and I want to bring you back on again because I want us to get a little bit more in depth about it. But um, let everybody know. I mean, before you let everybody know how to reach you, what's the one thing that you would want to say before we close out here about credit to the audience?
Okay, so now I'm gonna take this from the Bible because God gave me this scripture and he said, I want you, this is what you're gonna use to teach my people. And I think it's Ecclesiastes 7:11. And it says, for wisdom is a defense, as money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom gives life to those who have it. What does that mean? That means that you got to have wisdom with your money, because you can have all the money in the world, but if you ain't got no wisdom, it's not going to last. So my goal is to give people wisdom by teaching them how to manage their money, how to make sense of their money. Because yes, money answereth all things. The Bible says that. In Proverbs, it says that money answereth all things. We say, well, oh no, Cynthia, money may not answer. Yes, it do, because if you're sick, it will give you the best doctors. You understand?
Exactly.
It gives you the best of things. So I would say that it is time for us to get wisdom and learn wisdom with our money. Because even if you got $10 in the bank versus somebody that got $1 million in the bank, I bet you if you got wisdom with that $10, you can make that $10 go a long way versus somebody that got $1 million and they ain't got no wisdom.
Exactly. It happens every day.
Happens every day. So, I would leave people with that. And also how you can reach me. Okay, so my website is www.makesense, withyourmoney.com. I'm on all of the social media platforms, and my handle on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube is at Make Sense with Money. So I take the "your" out, so it's Make Sense with Money. That is my handle on all social media handles. And when you go to my website, you'll see my telephone number. I guess I don't give it out all the time, so I don't know about heart, but if you go down there, you'll see the 800 number. You'll see the email, which is support@makesensewithyourmoney.com. And that's how you can reach me if you got any questions, you want to vet me and all of that kind of stuff, as they say.
Yeah.
Check me out.
Yeah. Well, girl, I mean, you are the bomb. You're really awesome. And I want everybody to know to look out for the workshops that we'll be having starting soon, probably within the next 30 days or so. We plan on doing these workshops in the New York area and expanding nationwide, because this is something that I think we're in a critical situation, and we really have to make a move on things in reference to financial literacy. AI is replacing everybody, everybody. And I don't think that people really understood this was going to happen so quickly, and it's really happening fast. And I always say I will always stay human, because that
I'm with you.
is,
I'm with you.
AI is a tool, but is not a replacement for human beings. And
Exactly.
that's God made us as humans, and that's
Amen to
the
that.
way we need to stay. And it's a tempting thing. Unfortunately, thousands and thousands of people are losing their jobs, and they're just. I walked by someone the
Devastating.
other day on the street, and they were saying, "Oh, did you apply for unemployment?" People are talking about unemployment. Unemployment only runs so long. After that, you've got to have a game plan.
And that's another thing. They need to have a game plan. But before we leave, maybe the next time we'll talk about this. But I want to talk next time about the student loans and the changes that Trump is doing with those student loans. And there's another reason why people need to get their credit together, because some of that funding is being eliminated, and it's just a whole situation going on. So we're gonna talk about that next time. That's a really big thing that people need to really plug into and learn about and get their credit right, because they're gonna need
Yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly. And hit us up. Go to info at UBCSmallBusinessNetwork.com. UBC info at UBCSmallBusinessNetwork.com. Hit me up for the schedule, because what we're going to do is, when you take the workshop, Miss Cynthia Hurley will give you the jewels. Our goal is for you to walk out of these workshops with a plan and with knowledge, or with something where we can follow up with you to help you to create a game plan for
Yes.
what's your next move. And that's, it's not just we want to just talk, talk, talk. it's about creating a plan now and moving forward with financial empowerment, financial knowledge, investment, all those type of things. There's so many opportunities out here right now for us to become very, very wealthy. And we
Yeah.
can't get lost in the minutia of all of what's going on TV or all that, because it's really a distraction and it will make people very afraid and all that. But it's actually a great time for us to really, really get into business and take care of business. So, hit us up there, hit me up there. And like I said, we'll be starting these workshops soon, and Cynthia and we'll be bringing in other people that will be talking about all types of real estate investment and gold investment, financial. We'll even have somebody in here on blockchain and AI and all that kind of stuff as well. But the basis of everything has to start with the knowledge of credit. It has
Yes.
to start with that, and our relationship with money. Our
Mhm.
relationship with money has to be much better, and that's, I think, the basic building block right there. Even if you have a business plan, you can do a business plan and have a business, but you have to have good credit to get funding. You
Yes.
have to move forward in order to understand money,
Mhm.
and know what the stock market is. Know if we
Yes.
need to know all of these things, and these are the
Yes.
things that this workshop will be doing to help everyone. So anyway, anything else you want to say, Queen, before we go? This has been so exciting. I could talk to you for
Oh my
hours and
God,
hours.
just want to tell people to just stay tuned and let's get our money right. Let's get our credit right. That's and prepare yourselves to be business ready. And me
Yes.
and Peggy gonna be able to help you to get there.
Okay.
That's what I'll leave people with.
Right. I like that. That's number 4, business ready. So,
Business.
I just have to talk to you. We have 4 like slogans already.
Okay.
I love investing.
Yes.
I think the one I really love is that we invest in our liabilities. That is
Yes.
so poignant. That what you said is so
Mhm.
it's so real. We invest in our liabilities, and we
Yeah.
have to stop doing that. We have to have a paradigm shift.
Yes. Yes.
We have to
Absolutely.
and we have to build legacy. We have to put together a trust, and where we can
Yes.
and put all of our things in that trust, and that
Exactly.
creates generational wealth.
The wealth. Exactly. That's another
Yes.
thing. Oh my God, we got so much to share. Oh,
We do, girl. I know we do. I love it.
we got a lot to share. You know,
Yes, 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 we
I'm
do.
looking forward to it.
Well, I want to thank you for being on this episode of UBC Small Business, and we look forward to your show. Also, she just has just a show about credit that's going to be on UBC TV. So we'll, look out for Cynthia's show on our platform as well, and then we'll have the workshops, and get in contact with this sister because she is brilliant. She will take you to where. Oh, somebody's talking on the side. She
Yeah,
will
that's
take
no,
you.
my husband. Yeah, so he don't know I'm going. I'm live. He don't know that. So he,
Oh, okay. I'm like, shh, come on, hubby.
yeah, he
you
went
know.
back upstairs.
Oh, okay, good. Go upstairs and count the
Sorry
money.
about that, y'all. Sorry about that. Look, it happens though. That's real though. It's all real. It's
It's all
okay.
real. It's all real. It's all real. And that's what I love about what we're doing. And that's to reach out to the masses and be real and authentic. That's
Hmm.
important. Relevant, authenticity, and just realness. And that is what people can relate to. And I don't want to bring on some highfalutin. Oh, you need to do this. Nobody wants to hear that stuff. And we want to hear real experiences like, child, listen, I had to file for bankruptcy.
I'm trying to tell you. Look,
I missed a payment. And I can tell you about my experience with UBC TV and how I pulled these
me
locks
too.
out, and I had to patch them back in because I had
Me too.
this
It's
debt
been
over here,
rough, honey. It's
that
been
debt over
rough.
here. I mean,
That's
how am
right.
I going to pay this? How am I going to pay that? When you're an
That's right.
entrepreneur, these things happen every day, and people don't understand that. They just think, oh
No,
yeah, she's this and that. No, honey, please, no. We have to
no.
go through until I become a $1 billion company, which I'm on the way to do.
You sure
I
is.
will say that. But once that happens, then that's another set of problems. But then I'll have people to deal with those. But it's you really have, being an entrepreneur, a small business, for everybody, if you're going to go toward that, which I would suggest, because my thing is Black Wall Street. When we had Black Wall Street, we had a circle of financial money circling around in our communities before it went elsewhere, you know. So that's my vision, is to create, you know, new Black Wall Streets where we
Yes.
create wealth within our
Yes.
communities, so we don't
Yes.
have to worry about anything or anybody or anyone or any government or anything like that, because
Yes.
we're all, the government will be coming to us saying, okay, you know, President Trump said, okay, what do you want to do? What do you need? You know, and that's how you become, you level the playing field.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
level the playing field that way. We have to take our economic empowerment and level the
Yes.
playing field.
Exactly. That's right. That's exactly right. But we got to learn. We got to be taught how to do that, because they don't. People
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, because we go out and, you know, we go out, like you say, have these parties and $3,000 here for the baby that's 10 years old. And
No, no, no. I've seen them when they like 2 years old.
oh my God. I was in 10. Oh my God.
You saying 10? No, this starts at 2 years old. Baby can't even say God, God, Dad, Dad. They don't even know. They don't even know how to spell money at that point. But that's what
Yeah.
happens. That's real. That's
I know,
real.
and it's sad because we're continuously investing in our liabilities. That is
Mhm.
something that's going to stay with me. I love that phrase that you coined, and I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that, girl. I'm taking it
Okay.
from you. I'm
Okay,
taking
go
it.
ahead.
You got three more other good ones that you
I don't even
created.
remember what they are.
I think I wrote them down.
Okay, okay,
Mm,
okay.
yeah. But anyway, I thank you for being on this episode, and I look forward to working together. Everybody, please support Cynthia. She is awesome. Support UBC TV. We are a Black female-owned media platform, and you know, I'm here to do and to tell our stories authentically. You know, there's not many platforms left out here. Everyone's being bought out. So we have to learn how to support our own businesses, especially media that gets the word out and shapes how we feel and think about things. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we have to really support that. That's a very important, you know, so support Cynthia, support UBC TV and Peggy Dotson. And I'm going to close this episode out. And I thank you so much. And Cynthia, I look forward to seeing you again. And everybody, hit us up on social media or on email so we can let you know when the next event is going to be and the calendar. All right. So thank you so
Okay.
much for this
Thank you.
episode. Thank you of UBC Small Business TV. We're just beginning, and we are going to take it to the next, take it to the top, take it to the
Yes,
top.
yes.
All right, all right, all
Okay.
right,
Take
all right.
care.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.